Period, yeah. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holler if you really feeling this. Gotta holler if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Jabari Rock Podcast. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let everybody know that we are live right now, and we are about to have an amazing guest, the return of Helen. I got to say real quickly, was it 2 years ago when I first started this podcast, and just so much just learning and growing and just content, and also equipment changing. This is awesome to have this returning guest, and do the due diligence of a great interview here. I felt so inspired to do better with my content after having someone like her on, because I was like, oh my god, I could do this so much better. There's so much noise in the background. This is a growing opportunity for everyone that inspired to be podcasting. And here we cover music, politics, and culture. And I want to thank everyone from last night that came on the live stream late night. I never did such a late night not live stream. We got questions. It was so informative, and I appreciate every single one of you. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please, please, please tell everybody, share this out. Get everybody involved. Let them know on Instagram, Meta, TikTok, all the talks, everything, all the media. All right. Just let it be known. Let's get this live stream popping again. All right. Ask some questions. If you got any questions you have for Helen, definitely ask some questions. We have a very, very, very talented person that's coming on. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Helen Blondel.
Hi everyone.
Hey Helen, I wish I had like the let's get the applause going.
I appreciate it.
Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be back. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. And, you know, what you were mentioning, aspiring to improve on your craft and on everything, that was the challenge with me too. So it's awesome coming back together after all of that.
Yeah. I have so many questions about your journey. It's I last time I spoke to you was about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Just about. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. And I've been following you on Instagram ever since and seeing everything that you have been doing. Just like a true, not even just an influencer, but just a talented singer, dancer, um, musician. How long have you been playing piano?
I actually just started again playing the piano back.
Oh wow, we took it back up. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So for I really started in middle school. I was taking classes, but I was just, middle school. I had so many other things going on that I kind of stopped it. And so many, many years later, back in December, I started it again.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So you have it. Are you self-taught at this point, or do you go? Oh, so you're just doing it yourself. Nice, nice.
I'm hoping that soon I can take some actual classes though.
But yeah, but looking at your link, you are very very busy. Let's start from the beginning. If you don't mind, just to give a refresher for the audience.
Mhm.
Um, where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in New York, but I moved to Orlando, Florida when I was really little, so around 3 years old. And I grew up here. I went to school in Miami, but very soon after I came back to Orlando. So I'm mostly Floridian.
Oh, nice, nice. And what got you inspired at what age to pursue music first or dancing first? By the way, she's a belly dancer, guys, and very very like what is it like body what is the term I'm looking for that dancers talk about where you're able to use each body part in dancing in like its own way. I'm trying to figure out the term.
Oh, yeah. So there's a couple that I can think about. There's the flexibility part. There's also the isolation. Belly dance is very isolation based.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider using. And then when it comes to strength as well. So belly dance is all three: isolations, flexibility, and strength.
What came first? Was it the singing or was it the dancing?
It was the singing first.
Okay. And do you remember like the first songs that you were singing? How young were you?
Well, I was really, really young. So actually, both of my parents were very musically inclined. I grew up listening to them, listening to music. So music was a part of my life since I was very, very young. The very first time that I actually sang, though, was around 8 or 9 years old. And my first public performance as a singer was in a singing competition. So I noticed that the feedback was really positive and I really enjoyed doing it. So I continued doing it. I joined choir in school. Um, I even was doing competitions at a really young age. And from doing all that, it led me to find my passion in dance. So I went to a school for the arts in high school and for singing. And then I saw a belly dance group. And from there, I was like, oh no, I have to learn belly dance too. So I really do believe that everything happens exactly the way it needs to. And we're in the right place and right time for a reason. I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. Sorry about that, Helen.
Oh, I was checking. phone too to see, oh, is it me? Like, what's going on? But
No, no, my bad. Yeah, the question was, so how long did it take you with dancing wise to be professional in belly dancing? Was there a culture in Florida that 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 carried it, or is belly dancing not really that popular in Florida? So I basically just gave you two freaking
yeah,
questions.
I would say that belly dancing is quite popular in Florida because Florida, or at least in Orlando and Miami, there's a very diverse group of people. We have Caribbeans, we have Latin, South Americans, Middle Eastern people, all of that. So, um, in the mixture of cultures, I would say that belly dance is more prevalent because of that.
Mhm.
Um, when I was younger, I was taking classes, and to become professional, it took me a while. I would say I was at a more professional level after 2 to 3 years of studying it. But because of the nature of entertainment and all of that, I only started dancing professionally when I was 18. So I
Mhm.
started dance at 13 and I started dancing professionally at 18. So 5 years.
Oh wow, wow, 18. What
Mm-hmm.
was that like going out into this profession at such a young age? Were you the only one that young? Was there women jealous of you?
Well, I do feel like, well, when it comes to jealousy, I was, I feel like that's something that we experience in the entertainment industry, regardless of what we do. So as a singer, I was very familiar with that already. Um, but in the case of like with age and stuff like that,
Yeah.
a lot of dancers starting off at that age. In fact, I would say something that I still talk to students and aspiring professionals, they want to start even younger than 18. And my personal opinion on it is, if you're going to be it in restaurants and things like that, just wait. Because there's a lot of stuff you deal with. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't see uh, the art behind belly dancing. And this is something that I also advocate for. Belly dancing,
Wait, what? People don't see a art in belly dancing?
a lot
But
of people, they don't see it as that. They will see it more as just a thing of like being sexual.
oh
And
god.
yeah, and people, hmm and people sexualize it, and it's very unfortunate because this is a cultural dance, no different from salsa, no different from like all these other dances that are out there around the
Right.
world. But because of Orientalism and things like that, people look
Mhm.
in a negative light. So because of that, I think it's very important that if somebody is starting off at a young age, that they make sure to know what to expect and know how to handle it properly. Um, I myself at 18, I feel like I was very lucky a lot of ways. I think that things have become more dangerous as the years have progressed. But yeah, for me, dancing professionally at 18, it was a great way to learn. And there are some things that I wrote about my journey in my book, Belly Dance Business 101. So yeah, a lot of,
Everybody cop that. I'll make sure I put the link in the description. I believe I do have that link because I put your link tree under your bio. So if
thank you.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, the link is in there. So yeah, there's a lot of little anecdotes about kind of what I went through, especially starting off in the industry. A lot of things that people won't tell you. Um,
Hmm.
but once you get past the hump of it all, entertainment, whether it be singing or dancing, and entertainment for business is a great thing because you make your own schedule, you're able to follow your dreams, you're able to engage something that makes you happy, but also makes the people that you're celebrating with happy. Um, Unfortunately, it is a double-edged sword. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to know how to navigate the business side of things. And that's what the book is for.
That's really dope. That's really dope. I got
Thank
to
you.
make sure I get a copy of that book. And maybe also I should get a copy for my girlfriend as well too, because she's really, really interested in stuff like that. When it comes to the sinking piece as well too, um, I see that you like have some you have a criteria of where either it's a singing gig or even a dancing gig. Do you find yourself doing both sometimes at certain gigs?
Oh
Is
yeah.
that very tiring?
It can be, but I feel like when you do something enough times, it just becomes second nature. For me, it's so crazy because dancing, I can dance a really long time and not get physically tired. But if I'm outside running or jogging for like 5 minutes, I'm already out of breath. So it just depends on what it is. But yeah, it's really fun for me. I love when people book both singing and belly dancing gigs, because my music, the music that I write, it incorporates my love for dance. And
Right.
um, I dance and sing to my songs, and that's something that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a few of your songs as well too, and she has a new single out called AAA. Am I saying it correctly?
Almost. It's
It's what?
I.
I. Sorry. You blanked out for a second on sound. I don't know what happened there, but it's okay. I. It's is that more of a Middle Eastern type of a mix type of sound?
So yeah, the sound is definitely very much Middle Eastern. It was actually produced by a North African producer, and
Nice.
it incorporates the sounds of the tabla as well as many other North African and Middle Eastern instruments.
I love that shit. I love
Think
that. Like that's so unique and different because you have like not only a catalog of Middle Eastern style, but you also have a curate to your Latin roots as well too.
think
um are you the only one doing this? Let's get deep into your music real quick.
think Well, I think that, every single artist has their own way of expressing themselves. And I try to make my music as individual and as personal as possible. I really want people to listen to my music and know that it's mine.
Mm,
Know that, okay, this is a Helen song, because there's so many talented
right.
artists there, and many people of many different cultures, many belly dancers out there. But I want to make sure that when I write, it's something that it has a piece of me in it. Like,
Mm,
hey, this is Helen's story. This is what she's going through. And that's why I've just been writing how I feel. And I would say every artist has the things that they're really, really good at and the things that might need work. For me, a challenge has been writing lyrics. So it's something that I look at and I say, you know what? It's not something that I'm going to call difficult. I'm just going to call it a hurdle to overcome. And I feel like with I and Eclipse, and even again from back in 2023, I feel
yeah.
like those have been songs that I've been able to prove to myself, okay, I can do it. I can write. I just need to take a little more time.
Yeah. I tell artists all the time, especially on this podcast, take your goddamn time. Don't rush it. Don't
Hmm.
rush it. Maybe you got to go through something.
Hmm.
Maybe you have to go through something
Yeah.
before in order for you to bring out your craft. And that's totally fine. Jadakiss does that. So why can't you? And people rush. People try, especially with these labels. Are you independent or are you associated with any promotion companies music wise?
I'm independent.
You're independent. Oh, you're independent, and you have such a huge fucking following as well too. So it's like you're literally the personification of what me and my music colleagues have always been preaching about. Fuck the 360 deal. It's all about being independent. Right now, look at Kevin Gates. Look at Usher. Even he's independent now. It's important because one thing that happens 24/7 is the composition, the work. You don't get paid the way you're supposed to be paid. Spotify puts you in the pool, and then they give that pool to the highest bid regardless. So it's like, all right, you're going to get screwed by Spotify, and then you're also going to get screwed by these deals where you got to pay these guys back for whatever they invested into you. It's so great to be independent. It's the time now. Soldier Boy gave us the blueprint. You
And
know what I mean?
the thing is that I would say there's no shortcuts to anything. And when you're independent, it sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. And
Mm,
it is. But
mm,
nothing that's, this is just a personal belief I have, nothing that's worth having is easy.
mm,
Work. You gotta invest your time. And a lot of times when you're independent, you don't have the financial resources that, let's say, people in labels have. So you gotta pull those extra double shifts and work.
right.
Not get maybe not get that drive through and eat what you have at home for a little while,
Yeah.
and invest in making your stuff happen. And so, yes, it's not easy by any means, but it's definitely doable if you just have that discipline and do it. The fruits of your labor will be amazing.
Oh yeah. And have anybody offered you deals in the past?
Not that I remember.
Hmm.
No, not that I remember. And when it comes, at least not for singing, at least not.
Hmm.
I have been offered certain things for social media, but
Hmm.
when I'm doing business in any realm, it needs to make sense for me. If I
Right.
see that I'm missing out financially, or if it doesn't make sense, I'm just not going to do it, because I know what it's like to not have help and still do pretty okay for myself. So I guess
Right.
I'm spoiled in that sense. Me, manager and stuff like that. I know how I like to do things, and I know what I can get from doing my own things. So really, if I were offered something, it would have to make sense.
Mm,
Of course,
I hear that.
yeah, for real.
For
So
real.
at this point in time, I'm writing solo, but it's all good.
So you're writing your songs, which is great. Um, have you ever wrote a song for anyone? Well,
No.
not for anyone like in yeah, you my boo thing. I'm gonna write you a song, but like sold a song or gave an artist a song. Like hey, I had this in mind. I think that you would be perfect for it.
I haven't, and I'm just gonna slip my phone in the charger really quick just in
Yeah.
case I do have that kind of luck. my phone, my phone would die it never dies, but it would die in the middle of a live stream.
No problem.
But okay, let's put this here. But yeah, no, so I have not been very confident in my writing skills until
Mm,
recently.
okay.
I was always under the impression that I wasn't a good songwriter, and really that's where the 2023 and 2024 songs came out.
Mm,
Only was it a way of expressing myself musically and sharing my feelings with my followers, but it was also a way to prove to myself that yes, I can write. It just takes practice, and it just takes learning and time.
mm,
Now I feel a lot more comfortable that if someone were to request to write a song with me, or maybe even want to invest in my songwriting, for themselves as an artist, I would be so down to do that for them.
Mm. And I saw that you were in a music video. What was
Mhm.
that like? Being in that music. I haven't seen the video yet, but I saw it on your page. Were you singing and dancing?
I was dancing. So
Mhm.
actually the recent one that I posted, it
Right.
was for a very, very well-known, amazing singer, and Latin artist named Dayami Musa.
Oh,
And
I've heard of them. Yeah.
yeah. And so the song, oh, and it's also Dari Nuflo and Lit Kaisen. It's a song that they did together. And it's called Hechicera, which
Mhm.
means sorceress. And
Mhm.
kind of the vibe of the whole song is like she's a sorceress and the way that she moves and that sort of thing. So being able to dance in a song, not only with such amazing artists, but
Yeah.
also in such a fun song with such cool lyrics and an interesting vibe. I feel so like it was an amazing opportunity.
How did that get across? Do you manage yourself?
Yes, as of now, I manage myself.
Okay.
Hmm.
How did they come across? Did they contact you, or did you like reach out like, hey, let's freaking work or some shit? Like
Yeah, so they actually reached out. We had already been following each other, so she had seen my work and she reached out, and I'm so thankful that she did because dancing in in that music video was a lot of fun. It was a really great vibe being able to work with such awesome people.
that's really dope. Where was the video shot at?
It was in Miami.
Oh wow,
Mhm.
Miami just popping, man. Like
It's what I'm saying. Like there's so much. And so I feel like Orlando is like that too. Orlando is like that, just at a slightly smaller and different scale. But
Mhm.
Miami, there's so much work entertainment wise for everybody. As long as you put yourself out there, as long as you work hard and you let your work speak for itself, um there's opportunities. The whole thing of like, oh, I need a manager, I need to do this before I did. No, because maybe that was the truth 10, 15, 20 years ago, but in the world of social media and technology, we're very there's good and bad to everything. But a good thing about technology and social media is that we're able to really put ourselves out there and advocate for ourselves as artists.
Yeah, yeah, that's really dope. It's really dope. So there's this guy. I gotta ask you this question since you've been in Florida. Have you heard of this new money? I call him Mr. New Money,
Miss
Patrick Bet David.
Oh, Patrick Bet David. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
heard he's like an icon down there now.
yeah. Yes. So actually, I don't know him personally. But I was on a valuetainment podcast about back in I'm not the best at math. So I'm not
Oh
gonna
wow, you was on his podcast? Wow.
I wasn't on the PBD podcast, but I was
Uh-huh.
on a valuetainment podcast, the SOS podcast.
Got you.
It's the one with Adam Sosnick. So it was that one.
Yeah.
A really fun vibe. Everybody there was really nice. So yeah, I don't know him personally, but I
Mhm.
did do something on valuetainment and it was a really great experience.
Yeah, yeah, I had to ask because I follow him
Mm.
um and listen to everything that he does because I appreciate him interviewing mobsters and all stuff like that when nobody wanted to. It's one of my downtime guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Which not to mention there will be a mobster actually on my podcast next week, Gene Barillo of Everything Goes
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
wow.
He's in Florida too.
Mm.
I gather. Have you seen him?
No. But there's so much, that's the thing. There's so much people and different things happening in
Yeah.
Miami. and in Florida in general. Some people say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. Like, but that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's a very big world, but also a very small world as well.
Mm-hmm. Where have you where have you performed at your gigs? Have you been, give me your most favorite gig and then your least favorite gig. And if you don't want to mention your least favorite gig, because I know how that could rough, it's all right.
So I'll tell you. So it's really hard to say my most favorite because I've had such an awesome opportunity to work with some really great people at some really great venues, but I can do a top 3.
Okay.
So I would say definitely one of my favorite opportunities was is singing backup at the Disney holiday special.
Nice.
This happens every year and they air it on ABC Network. I was able to sing backup for Olivia Holt, Shaggy, and more recently Robin Thicke. Please excuse me, Robin Thicke. A few months ago actually, and that was really really fun. Um,
Wow, he has a really great album that he released last year, I believe. I like his music.
yeah, and he's super nice and total piano goals. Like every time I see an art and they're singing and playing the piano at the same
Yeah,
time, I want to get there.
it's
But
so
yeah,
hard, isn't it?
so I really liked that because Disney really just, for me, I feel like so happy, and to see all the people and the children and so happy, and with the holidays, it's for me, it makes me just feel so happy and being on stage. Um another
Favorite
one,
Disney princess?
oh, favorite Disney. See, that's hard too because I like so many. Um she's not a Disney princess, but she is a Disney character. It's Isabella from Encanto. I
Okay, yeah,
um,
she
but
dope.
I huh?
She dope.
Yes, right? And so but Disney princess, I would have to say it's between Tiana and Jasmine.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I really like those characters, and so yeah, but definitely that when it comes to like favorites, that was one of my favorites.
mm,
And then when it comes to least favorites, it's usually, it was such a long time ago. It was a private event, and it was a situation of they were not trying to pay me. The
oh,
event was wonderful. Yes, the event was wonderful, but it was one of those things where I didn't get things done in writing. Um, and I wanted to give things the benefit of the doubt, and I had to chase the client down for money. And I don't do that anymore. I make zero exceptions. And that's also something that I talk about in detail in my book.
yeah.
So how to avoid that and things like that. But as for like favorite, definitely Disney. Um, there's so many restaurants that I love performing at. I did recently do a special. It was a Middle Eastern night at this lounge called Hukita Lounge. Amazing, amazing vibe. Very, very fun. We did plate breaking. We did. I know it's super. It's wild. We did plate breaking. We did light up glasses. It was amazing. So those videos will be coming out very, very soon as well.
Now, what was the occasion of this plate breaking? I know that in certain weddings, like, especially when it's a Jewish festive wedding, they like to like step on glass. I know that certain other cultures, I can't even think. I used to work for so many freaking weddings. I can't even think of this wedding right now. I worked for a lot of weddings, like over 300 weddings in my past. So I've seen a lot of shit. I
Yeah.
can't think of this damn culture that I saw, but anyway, the weddings are great. But is there a reason there was a plate breaking? Like,
It was an Arabic and Greek fusion event.
gotcha.
So in Greek culture, when they're celebrating, a lot of times they'll take plates and they'll break it.
Mm,
There's a lot of Greek restaurants, because of safety reasons, they replace the plates with napkins. That's why a lot of times at Greek restaurants you'll see people throwing napkins. It's kind of the same concept.
got
And
you.
so yeah, that's really what it was. And I've heard, now I can't confirm this, but I heard that it's also kind of like when you blow out a candle on your birthday, like you make a wish. Before breaking the plate, you're supposed to make a wish and then you break it. But I haven't confirmed that with someone who's Greek. But
That's
I think
really dope. I do
thank
like the weddings where they just throw money, even though I
yeah,
can't grab it.
I'll take some, put it in my pocket.
They're like, make it rain.
Right.
Yes. That's a good wish to have. Like, yes, just shower it down.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is the best thing to, to throw. Please put it in my hand, please.
You're not Arabic at all, right? Or Middle Eastern, right?
No.
You're Latina.
Yeah.
So what are some great, because we know a lot of Latino artists. Like, come on now. Like, we if you don't know, you live in America, my audience, what's wrong with you? Get it together. Like, they taking over. Like, it ain't just about Bad Bunny anymore. Like, just like with Afro beats. Shout out to the Afro beats as well too.
Yeah.
Taking over. But what
hmm
are some great Arabic artists that I should be having on my playlist if you know any?
Oh my goodness. So I can tell you the more contemporary ones as well as the super old school ones,
Mhm.
more like classical, well, not even classical, but they're artists who have been around for a very long time that I dance to a lot. Nancy Ajram, Miriam Fares, Wael Kafuri, and I can also send you a list of these artists as well. There's Rami Ayash. Oh my gosh, Amr Diab. I know I'm missing so many, but these are the artists that have been around for a very long time and their music's very, very popular. There's also more contemporary artists who I would say like their music is a fusion between Western and Middle Eastern styles. Um,
Interesting.
that would include Saint Levant, Fauzia, Eliana, amazing artists whom hopefully I can one day have the opportunity to collaborate with. That would be amazing.
Mm,
Um, and then yeah, so with Arabic artists, Middle Eastern influence and all of that. There's so many, and I love also dancing to all of their music as well.
that's really really awesome, and I'm definitely gonna check that out. Make sure I rewind this episode back so I can see that, because I love what I'm hearing. I love what I'm hearing. I'm this is I need to get some Arabic artists on this podcast and let them know that they have a spot here in America, because like I love just the difference of the rhythmic sound and stuff. You said that there was a guy from North Africa that you were able to work with.
Mhm.
Did you find him off of social media, or did you know him through other connections?
It's crazy because I feel like everything happens for a reason. I saw a beat on my Instagram, on my explore page, and I was like, I really like this beat. Let me check it out. And then I found his page, and then I went to look at more of his productions, and there was one that stood out to me, and that was the one for I that I now have as I. So I got the exclusive license for that,
That's
and
dope.
yeah, it's been awesome ever since. And all of the it's crazy because after working with him, I checked out some of the other artists whose songs he's produced, and now I'm following those artists. So it's like it all happens the way that it needs to in anything, especially with art. So
Mm, mm. That's really dope. So basically you have found other outlets of other people to work with to get a Middle Eastern sound that you'll need for your craft as well too.
mhm. Yeah, and ideally, because I've been wanting to do stuff in Portuguese as well,
Mm,
ideally, it would be wonderful to maybe collaborate on something in Portuguese, and if somebody speaks another language, it doesn't have to be Arabic, but any other different language, do some type of polyglot thing where we're doing English, Portuguese, another language. I think it's cool because it brings people together.
how many languages do you speak?
So right now I speak three. I speak English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
Oh,
Ideally, I would like to learn a fourth language. Maybe after things settle down a little bit and I have a little bit more time, it would be amazing to learn a fourth language.
well, what do you have in mind?
There's a couple that I have in mind. It would be nice to learn French. I it's hard though. It's a hard language. It is. And people are like, oh, but Portuguese is so similar to French. Yes, in a lot of ways, but the grammar is slightly different. And I would even argue to say that when you speak a language that is a little bit too similar to another language, it's sometimes even harder, you know,
Mm,
be- because you're used to saying something one way and then this is a different thing and it's like so easy. That's what happened with Spanish with me for a very long time. I was using words that I knew in Portuguese to speak in Spanish. But the problem is, those words mean something different in Spanish.
mm.
For example, embarazada in Portuguese means embarrassed, but embarazada in Spanish means pregnant.
What? Okay.
Mhm,
Now I
mhm.
understand. I'm detached. All I know is English, so it's like I'm hearing this. I'm like, wow. Like, why would that be a thing? But I get it. It's a totally different meaning, and that gotta be freaking aggravating to be like, ah, fuck, what? Ah,
Yeah.
how do I say?
Yeah. So it is a really big challenge, but I think that once you can learn another language and speak it fluently and practice it a lot with other people, I think eventually you will get over that hump. And a challenge that I go through a lot of times is like,
Mhm.
I don't want to make that mistake. Like, I don't want to say something wrong. If you don't make the mistake, and this goes for anything in life, if you don't make the mistake first, you won't learn.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I heard that French is like one of those languages that is like you have no choice but to like speak proper. There's no real dialect. Well, they don't claim their dialects. I've heard like with Creole and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um like it's like one of those like high class languages.
mm.
Somebody told me this and I felt like they was full of it. But have you heard that before?
I haven't heard it personally, but
Mm,
I I think that's so unfortunate because all of these other languages, they have that influence. And if anything, I think it's a great opportunity to say, you know what, your language comes from my language, so let's
mhm.
try to understand each other. You know,
Beautiful, yeah.
even though technically it's not the same because Spanish and Portuguese is they're not the same language at all, but at the same time, I would compare it to if someone were to speak badly about Portuguese and say, oh, Spanish is better than Portuguese, or maybe somebody to say Portuguese is better than Spanish. Neither language is better than each other, they're just different. So
Mm.
embrace the similarities and learn from our differences, and maybe we can get somewhere.
I'm just jealous of people that can speak different languages because I feel like I had so much time to learn, and I should have did in high school when I took Spanish, but I was too busy attracted to my teacher, and I was like, man, I ain't taking her seriously, and I was a different child around that time. I had to humble myself and learn, but I kicked myself in the head because I'm just like, dude, you could be speaking Spanish right now. Like, you
Well,
could be getting it done right now.
well, there's so many things, and I feel like me too. Like, there's things that I look back on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had done this differently, or I wish I had taken more time to do this or that differently. But you know what? As long as we're breathing, there's time. There's always an opportunity. It's never too late. Um, I would suggest maybe Duolingo. It's a really fun app.
Yeah.
Um, and Duolingo plus maybe watching, I know this sounds so silly, but watching a novella or
Mm,
like sports in
mm,
the language that you want to learn, it helps because it forces you to be interested.
right.
And when you're interested in something, it helps you pick it up faster. But yeah, you can learn. There's
I'm
never.
a huge soccer fan, so I might just do that with soccer
Yeah.
because do
It's worth
you
it.
like soccer?
I like soccer. I don't follow like the leagues really that much, but like
Yeah.
when the national games come around, I watch those.
Oh, wait, I'm over here asking you about freaking soccer. Let's get back to your career. All right. My bad. Because podcasts talk about anything. But anyway, so the other night, let me make sure I'm on track with my notes because I do have my notes. Make sure. Yep, ask that. Okay. Anyway, when it comes to the writing process,
Mhm.
have you mentioned that at first you had writer's block and it took you a while. Do you think COVID a issue had a was COVID kind of responsible for that journey?
In a big way, absolutely.
Hmm.
In a big way.
And do you feel that so it's an open-ended question. So do you feel that so COVID was a part of the journey, and then do you feel that you are now writing more because you are breaking off the COVID webs, or it wasn't a more internal
So for me, COVID. So post COVID helped a lot for me because it was one of those things where I wasn't really chasing my dreams to the fullest potential because I was comfortable in my 9 to 5. I was comfortable with doing the thing that people are supposed to do when they graduate college. Um, and so I wasn't really singing. I was singing covers as a
Mhm.
job, and I was belly dancing at places as a side job. Um, but as for putting out music, that wasn't even a thought before COVID happened. When COVID happened, nobody was leaving their houses. I had a lot more time to my phone. Um, my company laid me off because of the whole situation economically. And
Yeah.
after that, just a little spark happened where I was like, Helen, what are you doing? You're not you're not pursuing your dreams. You just lost a 9 to 5 job where you weren't even doing what you're passionate about.
Mm.
Life is, you know, it's not infinite. We have to, we have to go for what we want. And so that's when I took the time, uh being inside and also not working at my corporate job, to find other ways not only to make money but feed my creativity. And that's where Anymore came out. Anymore was the first song that I my first original song published to music platforms. Good Night, Midnight, Watch Me Dance.
Mhm.
And then everything just took off from there. And even now that we're not in that place that we were in back in 2020 and 2021, I feel like that was a great way to set ourselves up for what we have now. Um, as we kind of are into this new normal sort of thing that we have going
Right, right, right. It's definitely a new normal. I totally agree with you on that. So it seems that COVID gave you the push
Yeah,
to pursue your dancing and your singing career.
absolutely. The whole situation with COVID was very unfortunate, because a lot of negative things came out of that. But I feel like in every situation where something is happening that's not good, there
Hmm.
are ways that we can find a silver lining. And for me, that silver lining was stepping into my creativity, reading a lot more, reading so much more, um, and kind of learning how to advocate for myself. One thing that I really love about being self employed is that nobody can fire me. If there's a client that doesn't wish to work with me anymore, I move on to other different things. And that's why I would say, if you wish to start a business, do it. It doesn't matter if it's in music or anything else. Find what you love and find a way to make an independent business from it. Um,
Hmm.
and it's going to take work, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, have any nonprofits or any have you looked into any grants to contribute to your business?
I haven't, but I think that's a really great idea. Um,
Yeah, I mentioned it because somebody mentioned it freaking me, and I tried it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is out here!"
right? It's really awesome that you mentioned that, because I'm the type of person that I really like to do everything kind of on my own.
Are
And
you an Aries?
no, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh,
Scorpio.
Scorpios do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because we're very much like we are like, this is
Mhm.
me, this is like, like our art is our baby sort of, so we're just
Right.
like active of it. But I think that it would be really really great to reach out to different companies and even nonprofits for assistance, because you can't do like, it's impossible to do absolutely everything on your own. Like, sometimes you need help. And if there's
Mm.
people who believe in you and they see your work as an investment, that's a beautiful thing. And if there is someone out there, or a company organization out there who wishes to invest in, who believes in what I do and wishes to invest in that and be a part of the Sparkle team, the Sparkle journey, that
Hmm.
just make my whole year, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then so many connections. Like, I'm pretty sure that you get a lot of connections with the following and stuff that you have. So that's no problem with you. It just, for me, I found like so much of a stronger network, and I was just like, wow, like there's a lot of connecting out here that can happen, and I'm so. All right, I'm gonna plug them in. Thank you, New Haven Arts Council. Let me make sure I plugged them in.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, New Haven Arts Council, for the physical sponsorship from the beginning of the year. That was really, 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 really dope. There's just so much that I've learned, and collaboration is just so important, especially for artists. What would you think you would be? This would be my last question. What would you think you would be if you didn't have art? What would you think you'd be doing right now in the alternate universe, Helen?
Universe, assuming that the only difference is that I didn't have music or dance, I would probably work. I would probably work as a uh, public speaker, and teaching people how to chase their dreams and how to make the most of what they have. And that's actually something that, even with music and dance, it's something that I wish to do. You know, probably going over to schools and other events to
Mm.
tell people, like, look, don't ever let any of this stuff get in your way, because there's so many obstacles that are going to happen in life. Unfortunately, that's just what happens. And you have to make a way sometimes. A lot of times, things don't have to be that hard and things fall into place. But other times, you got to make a way.
You say the art saved you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I'm having a hard day or a hard year, or I'm just not like, let's just say I'm not in a good mood, or like I'm just mad about whatever happened. I put on my headphones, I get up and dance, or I write about it. And after I put that in my music or put that in my dance, I suddenly feel relieved.
Mm.
It's very therapeutic.
Mm. Helen, I don't want to take any more of your time. I want to thank you so much for coming back on the show. And I hope my production was a lot more impressive than last time.
Great
This
time talking to you. This was a lot of fun.
everybody,
And
please.
awesome.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, I was gonna say, and the production is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everybody, please check out her new music. The link is in the bio. Also, check out her music all over. She got like 5, 6 singles, and they're all great. And it's a mix. It's a flavor. It's her. You're getting the taste of Helen. So definitely check that out. And do you have any projects that you would like to announce in the near future before we close out, for people to look out for?
Sure, yeah. So I actually just released another song called Eclipse. It was super impromptu because of the eclipse that happened last week. I,
Nice.
I'm feeling inspired. The eclipse is tomorrow. Tomorrow, let me just put it out. So I recorded it from my own computer, from my own mic. It's not mixed and mastered. I did it myself. But I would appreciate if people go and check out that song on Spotify as well. You'll be able to tell the difference because it's not professionally produced, but the lyrics mean a lot to me. And I look forward to doing something really fun with that song very soon.
Oh, word. Definitely check out Eclipse, everybody. Definitely check that out. I love it when people try to like you were messing with GarageBand?
Close. Audacity.
Audacity. Oh, okay. Okay. I mess with that too. Audacity and the GarageBand. I love it. I love that. So people definitely check that out. Follow Helena. Follow Helen on Instagram. Check out her dancing, check out her music. She has over 100 and something thousand followers. So this is literally a rising star. If any, this is a star. So I want to thank you so much for blessing this podcast with your presence, because it definitely is something I appreciate so much to have you back on the show. And I wish you the best in your career as well too. And to everybody out there, please like, share, subscribe, and have a very nice day. Have a good day, Helen.
Same to you. Bye.
Blank period, yeah. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holla if you really feeling this. Gotta holla if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holla if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?